Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are tearing down a wall of silence and shame that surrounds one of the most stressful parts of modern life. We're diving deep into the psychology of financial instability, talking about how to stop being broke, not through, quick fix hustle culture, but by building money habits that are built for the reality of human stress.
And emotional complexity, and maybe most importantly, a lack of foundational safety.
Exactly.
And it's just so essential that we start right there. I mean, being broke is not merely a number in your bank account. It's an emotional environment.
An environment. I like that.
It is. It's that constant low-level hum of anxiety that you feel in your chest, a pervasive internal tension that just drains your energy and shapes every single decision you make.
Every decision, big or small.
Yeah. You carry this with you from the moment you wake up. It's exhausting.
That feeling is utterly exhausting. And I think what makes it so corrosive is that it leads directly to self-blame.
Oh, absolutely.
When you're constantly stressed about money and you see all this advice online telling you to just budget, you internalize it and you start to think the problem is some kind of catastrophic failure of character.
Right.
You start believing that narrative. I'm lazy, I'm irresponsible, I'm just bad with money.
And that is the exact assumption we have to challenge and just discard immediately. The core thesis of this entire deep dive is that the problem is not your inherent failure. It's not about your intelligence or your moral worth.
Say that again, because I think people really need to hear it.
Broke is not a moral failure. It is a set of learned survival habits. It's a nervous system response to chronic stress, and it's a deeply ingrained identity pattern.
So if someone's listening right now and they're feeling that shame kind of bubbling up, what's the fundamental reframe they need to hear? What's the news story?
The reframe is this. People do not stay broke because they lack responsibility. They stay broke because their entire system, their brain, their body, their nervous system, it's all been conditioned by life, sometimes by trauma, sometimes just by the system we live in, to expect struggle.
To anticipate it.
To anticipate it, exactly. They aren't choosing to fail. Their body is choosing short-term relief. It's choosing what feels comfortable right now because that survival mechanism will always override a desire for long-term security.
So when you're in that constant fear state, you're just surviving.
You are surviving, and you cannot build anything when you're just trying to survive. You can't build until you feel safe enough to stop.
Let's pull back the curtain on that emotional reality then. We always hear that money is just math, but for millions of people, it's the most emotionally charged part of their day.
Oh, absolutely.
Why is money so emotional and not just mathematical?
Because your emotions are the scriptwriters. I mean, they dictate every single financial decision long before you even think about the numbers. If we follow this back to its root, we often find childhood instability.
Right, like what you learned as a kid.
Exactly. Think about growing up with chronic food insecurity or fearing eviction or hearing your parents fight constantly over bills. That environment teaches the developing brain a crucial, a really survival-oriented rule.
Which is?
Spend money when you have it because it might not be there later.
Of course. Get it while you can.
Get it while you can. Scarcity creates immediacy. So when the paycheck arrives, the nervous system, which is still running that old program from those childhood emergencies, it screams, quick, use it, buy comfort, buy control, because tomorrow that resource might be gone and the fear will come rushing back.
Wow. That explains so much about impulsive spending. It's not about wanting the thing itself.
Not at all.
It's a desire for the feeling of control or temporary safety that the transaction provides you. It's almost like an adrenaline response, a reactive behavior.
Exactly. Spending is often learned survival, not a deficiency in discipline. The body remembers the emergencies, the cortisol spikes, even if the person now has a different income level.
The body keeps a score.
It does. And this is why people stay locked in the cycle. Being broke is intensely painful, but it is also deeply familiar.
And the brain likes familiar.
The human brain prefers the devil it knows. It trusts what is familiar, even if that familiar state is just struggle and stress.
That's a devastating insight. The cycle is maintained because the instability feels like home. Okay, let's dig into those invisible psychological traps, the things that keep the cycle spinning, even when someone is actively trying to get out.
We've identified 5, and they're pretty universal. The first one is maybe the most common, the avoidance loop.
I think I know this one.
Financial stress is so acute that people simply avoid looking. They avoid their bank accounts, they avoid opening their mail, they avoid making a budget. They fear the truth of what they might find more than they fear the current worsening uncertainty.
It's the financial version of being scared to answer a phone call from an unknown number.
Yep.
You know it's probably bad news, but not knowing exactly how bad provides this temporary, really shallow sense of peace.
And the avoidance just creates more chaos, which leads to more fear, and that solidifies the cycle, so it just feeds on itself.
Okay, what's the second trap?
The second is the comfort spiral. This happens when stress is chronic, and being broke is chronic stress. When stress is high, the body craves dopamine. It craves fast relief.
So you reach for something easy.
You do, and that leads directly to emotional spending. That impulse buy online, that expensive takeout meal, that third cup of coffee. You aren't buying happiness, you're buying a momentary escape. You're buying a way to just dampen the nervous system's alarm bells for a second.
But the immediate consequence is more financial stress, which means the need for comfort just spirals right back up, and that forces another purchase. It's a totally self-feeding loop.
Precisely. The third trap is a really powerful form of self-deception, the I'll fix it later fantasy.
Procrastination.
It is. This is delaying any meaningful change because you believe that we will somehow be magically more capable, more disciplined, or richer. You keep deferring responsibility to this hypothetical future self, which just ensures you maintain the unstable status quo today.
And the current self gets off the hook, right? It's
Yeah.
a way to avoid the hard emotional work today by promising this discipline that just never shows up tomorrow.
Exactly. Number 4 is the absolute identity killer, the identity trap.
Okay, break that down.
This is the internalization of your financial status. People start telling themselves these self-defeating stories. I'm just not built for success, or money is too complicated for me, or I was just destined to struggle.
They make it who they are.
They do. They repeat those stories until the brain accepts them as reality. And once that negative identity is cemented, they unconsciously take actions and make choices that align with the story they tell themselves, not with the success they actually want.
So if you believe you're bad with money, you will behave badly with money, just to prove your own belief correct. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, all based on identity.
And that leads to the 5th trap, which is devastating after years of trying. It's learned helplessness.
Wow.
After repeated attempts to save or budget or earn more, all of which ended in setbacks or failure because the underlying emotional stuff wasn't addressed, the brain just stops believing any effort will work.
So you just give up.
It leads to this deep exhaustion and an inability to even see opportunities. Why bother trying to apply for that better job if you already believe it's pointless?
That deep dive into the internal mechanisms is so crucial. Now, to help people listening locate themselves in this conversation and maybe feel a little less alone, you've categorized this problem into 4 types of broke people. This feels like a very compassionate way to reframe it.
It is. It's about moving away from judgment and towards understanding. So type 1 is the surviving broke. These are people whose income fundamentally covers only the most basic, essential needs: rent, minimum food, minimal transportation. They are often living in places with wage stagnation or areas with a really high cost of living. They are not overspending. They are fighting an economic war every single month.
And my guess is they feel the most shame, even though the structural system is just completely stacked against them. Their solution isn't a fancier budget, it's finding ways to increase their income.
Precisely. Then you have type 2, the faking stability broke.
This one sounds familiar.
They look fine on the outside. They might have a decent middle-class income, nice clothes, a new phone, a functional car. They maintain the image of stability, but internally they have zero savings, they rely heavily on credit cards, and their bank account is constantly hovering near zero.
They're one emergency away from collapse.
Always. One unexpected car repair or medical bill away from total immediate collapse. Living on a financial tightrope while performing stability is just incredibly
It
taxing.
would burn you out completely.
It does. Then you have type 3, the high income but broke. This group often surprises people. They might earn, $90,000, $120,000, or even more, and yet they struggle constantly.
How is that possible?
Their issue isn't a lack of money, it's lifestyle creep. Their spending immediately inflates to meet or even exceed their income. They accumulate debt, they spend for external validation, the expensive watch, the big house they can't afford, and they just fundamentally lack the financial structure or skills to manage that level of complexity.
So they need a system, not a raise. Their lack of discipline is actually a lack of structure.
Exactly right. And finally, type 4, the emotionally broke. This person might technically have sufficient money, sometimes even significant savings, but they emotionally feel poor.
So it's a feeling, not a fact.
It's a feeling, and it's deeply rooted in past trauma, or an intense fear of loss, or growing up in scarcity. Their emotional reality has not caught up to their financial reality. They might hoard money to an unhealthy degree, or, on the flip side, spend impulsively out of fear, or they just avoid looking at their finances entirely because money remains a source of terror for them, regardless of the balance.
Understand those 4 realities really helps tailor the solution. I mean, the advice for a type 1 is drastically different from the advice for a type 3.
Completely.
So let's make it even more relatable. What are the day-to-day signals, the little micro moments that show the broke loop is actively running in someone's life?
We see these constantly. You are in the loop if you consistently avoid checking your bank account. And when you finally do, your heart physically races, your breathing gets shallow, you experience just a wave of dread.
That physical reaction, that's your body screaming, danger.
It is. Another sign is feeling like money just disappears. You know the deposit came in, but within 48 hours, you have no idea where it went. And that leads to frequent overdrafts and fees.
You also notice that small purchases offer this intense feeling of relief, not actual happiness. You're just buying a moment of calm.
Exactly. Also, the mental looping is relentless. Telling yourself, next month will be different every single month, only to repeat the same pattern.
And crucially, the tension remains whether money comes in or goes out. You fear the deposit because you know all the bills are waiting for it, and you fear spending because you know the account is dangerously low. It's a constant state of anxiety.
That constant unreleased tension is it's exhausting. And finally, you avoid learning about money. Not because you're unintelligent or lazy, but because the whole topic feels complicated, dangerous, and overwhelming. It causes this immediate cognitive shutdown. It's an act of self-preservation to avoid the danger.
And this all ties back to the deepest sign of all, that feeling of unworthiness, not believing you deserve stability or savings or a life without chaos because your identity is just fundamentally tied to struggle.
That's why the core truth must be stated again and loudly. Broke is not a moral failure. Shame is the anchor that traps people in this cycle. Shame tells you to hide, to avoid, to feel unfixable. It's the greatest inhibitor to change.
So let's just take a moment to acknowledge that shame and then let it go. We need to internalize this. Being broke is not a character flaw. It's not a reflection of your intelligence or your value, your potential, or your future. It is simply where you are. It's a temporary location on your journey. It is not who you are.
And if you're listening, just take a moment, put your feet flat on the floor, take a slow, deep breath in, and release the tension in your shoulders and your chest. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are in the middle of a story, a healing process. You're not at the final destination, and you are getting ready to change the narrative.
The moment we shift from that shame to compassion, the behavior can actually start changing. Let's look at how that broke mindset, that survival mentality, shows up in the micro choices, those tiny automated habits people do every day.
These are the habits that really reveal the internal state of survival. First, the social pressure response. Saying yes to outings or dinners or purchases you truly cannot afford just to avoid the perceived humiliation of being the broke one.
Or just feeling left out.
Or feeling left out. You are literally buying a temporary sense of belonging, and you're paying for it with your long-term peace of mind.
The second one, and this is so visceral to me, is holding your breath while swiping a card. That moment of internal freezing, just praying the transaction goes through. That physical response shows you're operating in pure survival mode, relying on luck instead of a plan.
And the third is the short-sighted nature of that thinking, using future money today. I get paid Friday, so I'll put this expense on the card now. This is survival thinking that solves the immediate problem but completely ignores the catastrophe of tomorrow's reality. It only increases the anxiety when payday actually arrives.
Then you have what you called financial PTSD, where even when things get better, the body just doesn't trust it.
That's the fourth habit. It's believing deep down that every financial improvement will inevitably be ruined. When you get a raise or pay off a debt, instead of feeling relief, you're just waiting for the disaster.
You're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Your nervous system is primed for chaos, and it doesn't trust stability to last. This financial PTSD can even cause self-sabotage just to return to that familiar feeling of chaos.
Fifth is the language trap. The words we use matter.
They matter so much. Constantly say, I can't, about money or saving or earning more. You are speaking struggle into existence and reinforcing this limiting belief that you are unworthy of growth.
And this limiting identity often prevents the bigger growth opportunities. If you avoid big decisions like salary negotiation or applying for a better job because you don't feel worthy, you're acting out the identity that says you're not the type of person who gets ahead.
And finally, the guilt. Feeling guilty for just wanting peace. feeling guilty for desiring stability, savings, or a calm life, as if peace itself is somehow selfish or greedy.
So we have to talk about breaking the broke identity. It's clear that people have these entrenched money identities. How do we shift that? Because if someone gets a massive raise tomorrow, they often just revert to the old broke behavior, don't they?
They absolutely do. Identity doesn't just update because your bank account changes. And it's so crucial to understand this mechanism. Identity follows behavior, not the other way around.
Okay, say more about that.
You do not wait to feel financially stable before you start saving. You have to gently build the micro habits that generate stability. Saving that $5, checking the balance daily, and those actions, they generate proof. Eventually, that proof creates the new, stable identity, and your emotions catch up. You have to practice being the future you.
You have to change the actions first. And this brings us to a crucial shift in perspective. The myth that broke people lack discipline. We need to swap discipline for safety.
This myth is so toxic, and it's just plain incorrect. Broke people do not lack discipline. They lack safety, they lack tools, they lack stability, and the emotional space to heal. Let me be perfectly clear about this. Please.
You cannot budget your way out of a trauma response. If your nervous system is trapped in chronic survival mode, its biological imperative is immediate relief and survival, and it will override any long-term budget goal every single time.
So the key insight here is that stability only takes hold when the nervous system learns that saving, planning, and managing money are actually safe. How do we teach the body that money is no longer a threat?
By starting small, by prioritizing safety over massive, punishing goals. This needs context, though. I want to share the personal story that truly cracked open my own broke identity.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I was 27, living on instant noodles and pure exhaustion, working 2 grueling jobs, a warehouse during the day and a Tex-Mex restaurant at night. Every single month was a losing battle against the bills.
That dual exhaustion is a huge energy drain that just feeds the avoidance loop. You're too tired to even care. Exactly. One night, I got home around 1:30 in the morning, just utterly depleted. I opened the mailbox, and sure enough, there was another past due notice from the electric company. I walked up the 3 flights of stairs, opened the door, and I flipped the light switch.
And nothing.
Nothing. Absolute silence. They had shut off the power.
Wow. In the middle of the night.
In the cold, dark silence, I sat on the floor, and here is what was so terrifying. I wasn't angry or scared or even sad. I just felt this profound sense of resignation. The thought in my head was, of course this would happen. That was the rock bottom moment. I realized that the lack of electricity wasn't the disaster. The disaster was my acceptance of it. I had internalized the broke identity so completely that I had stopped fighting. I had stopped hoping for anything better.
You had surrendered to the narrative. The energy to fight had just completely left you.
I had realized I was broke on the inside. And the promise I made the next morning wasn't, I'm gonna get rich. It was, I am going to learn how to stop being broke on the inside. Real change starts when that old identity cracks open and you gain the courage to say, I don't have to live like this anymore. I deserve stability.
That internal shift from resignation to resolve is the ignition point. So now we can talk about the habits that actually stick. But first, let's be honest. Why do 90% of traditional money habits and budgets fail for people who are struggling with this emotional load?
They fail because they are built on fantasy, desperation, and shame. They assume you are a spreadsheet-wielding robot with zero emotional needs. They feel like punishment and extreme restriction, which causes the primal brain to rebel instantly.
Right, you try to go too big, too fast.
People try to fix everything at once, a massive leap instead of a single gentle inch. And the sheer size of the habit triggers the nervous system to shut down and sabotage the whole effort.
And most critically, they skip the emotional foundation. You can't build a 10-story financial building on top of unhealed shame and scarcity trauma.
Precisely. So the habits that actually stop the broke cycle are built for real, tired, stressed human beings. We call these the gentle habits. Let's start with the cornerstone, the one that fights that avoidance loop.
Habits, #1. The daily balance check. So how do we make checking the bank account a ritual of safety instead of dread?
You do it every single morning within the first hour of waking up. 10 seconds. That's it. No judgment. Just open the app, look at the number, and close it. The psychological rationale is simple. Awareness rewires the brain.
It's like turning on the lights in a dark room.
It is. If you avoid the balance, the fear creates a monster in the dark. Checking the balance is turning on the lights. It decreases fear, it increases your sense of control, and it prevents those shock moments later when money has magically disappeared. The consistency proves to your nervous system, I know where the money is and I am safe.
That consistency of proof is key. Okay, so now, how do we create a budget that doesn't feel like financial jail?
That's habit #2, the zero shame budget. A traditional budget often feels like a punishment tool designed by a stricter, meaner version of yourself.
Yeah.
The zero shame budget is a map built on compassion and reality. If you overspend on dining out, you don't shame yourself, you don't quit, you simply adjust the map, you rewrite the next category, and you learn. Budgets have to be flexible, acknowledging that real life happens. They're tools for learning, not weapons for self-punishment.
I love that reframe. Budgets are maps, not prisons. Okay, moving to the third habit. This one is about building that saving muscle when the very idea of saving is terrifying.
Habit #3, the $5 rule. This is pure psychological conditioning.
Yeah.
Every time money hits your account, a paycheck, side hustle payment, a tax return, you immediately save $5. Not 50, not 100, just 5. And the money needs to go immediately into a separate designated stability fund account.
Why is $5 the magic number?
Because it is small enough that your emotional system won't panic and resist the transfer. It creates an automatic saving muscle, and critically, it provides irrefutable evidence to your subconscious self that I am someone who can save. You see that small balance grow, and that proof starts shifting the broke identity.
Now, to fight the stress spending, we need some impulse control habits.
That's habit #4, the 60-second delay. Before any non-essential purchase, online or in person, you pause for a full 60 seconds. Step away from the checkout. Put the phone down. That simple pause allows the initial emotional rush, that craving for relief, to settle. In just 60 seconds, the intensity of the impulse shrinks dramatically, allowing your logical, goal-oriented brain to step back into control.
And to understand the root cause of that impulse, we need habit #5, track emotional triggers.
Whenever you catch yourself stress shopping or impulse buying, you immediately ask yourself, what emotion came right before this purchase? Was it intense stress from work? Loneliness after a hard day? Boredom? Insecurity when you were comparing yourself to others?
It's never about the item.
The purchase is always about the feeling. Awareness kills the impulse because you realize the deep emotional need the purchase was meant to satisfy. And then you can address that feeling directly, maybe with a walk or phone call instead of a credit card.
The next habit is a deep identity shift about prioritization.
Habit #6. The first bill is me method. When you get paid, before the rent, before groceries, before any external bill, you pay yourself first. Even if it is just that $5 for the stability fund. This is a symbolic and practical shift. It tells your brain, I matter, my stability matters, my future is a non-negotiable expense.
This moves you from reaction to proactive planning. And for creating tangible breathing room, which is the definition of safety, we need habit #7, the $100 cushion.
This is the single most important financial goal when you're escaping the loop. Your first goal is not paying off debt or saving 6 months of salary. It is creating a $100 buffer in your primary checking account.
$100.
This cushion breaks the panic cycle. If a $20 late fee hits or an unexpected small charge appears, the cushion absorbs it without plunging you into an overdraft or emergency mode. It provides vital emotional breathing room against life's small annoyances.
$100 seems so tiny, but the emotional impact of avoiding that overdraft or that heart-racing panic is massive.
It creates psychological peace, which frees up bandwidth for better decisions. And to maintain that control, you need habit #8. The weekly money moment.
And this is not a stressful 3-hour financial audit.
No. Once a week, sit down for 10 minutes max. Review your inflows, review your spending triggers, and check your stability fund balance. This gentle presence builds self-trust and awareness. It is the ritual that systematically unwires the avoidance loop, proving that money can be managed calmly, not just in a crisis.
And that leads into habit #9, intentional spending.
When you spend, you do it as a conscious choice based on your values, not as a reaction to external stress or pressure or boredom. You shift from, I need this relief now, to, does this purchase truly align with the life I am trying to build?
And finally, to prevent shame from derailing the whole effort, habit #10, the reflection habit.
At the end of the month, or even every 2 weeks, you ask 2 questions, without shame or blame. What worked well this cycle, and what didn't work, and what did I learn from it? Reflection is learning. Judgment is stagnation. You celebrate the wins and you treat the setbacks as data points, not as moral failures.
These 10 gentle habits form the stability blueprint, which progresses in 4 manageable stages of growth, designed specifically for people who are emotionally exhausted.
Stage 1. Get stable enough to breathe. Forget long-term goals. Focus entirely on reducing financial fires, the overdrafts, the late fees. Your only goal here is to establish the micro cushion, that $50 to $100 buffer, and pay your essential bills first.
Stage 2. Create predictable money patterns. We talked about this. The nervous system needs rhythm.
This is where you implement the daily balance check and the weekly money moment. You replace financial randomness, the constant shocks and surprises, with predictability. Predictability breeds calm.
Stage 3. Strengthen income before expecting to save big, acknowledging that sometimes you simply need a bigger shovel to dig yourself out.
You have to earn your way out. Once you have a tiny bit of emotional safety, you must shift energy towards leveling up your value and income, which we'll discuss in depth in the next section, rather than trying to cut tiny pennies out of an already threadbare budget.
And Stage 4. Build emotional wealth. The ability to relax, breathe, and make clear decisions without panic. That's the ultimate goal. Financial wealth follows emotional wealth.
Let's look closer at that closed loop we are trying to break, the chaotic money loop. It's a self-feeding monster.
Right, so stress leads to avoidance. Avoidance leads to a worsening situation. The worsening situation leads to more stress, which triggers emotional spending, which results in guilt, and thus more avoidance.
It's a continuous negative feedback loop. To break it, you have to intervene at those 2 key points. You interrupt avoidance through the daily check and weekly moment, and you interrupt emotional spending through the 60-second delay and trigger tracking. The purchase is a symptom. The untreated stress or loneliness is the disease.
If someone is stuck in stage 1 or 2 of the blueprint, where every spare dollar is spoken for, why does focusing on income and skills matter more than saving at first?
Because when you are in chronic survival mode, saving is emotionally and practically impossible. Every dollar feels essential for survival. Trying to cut a budget aggressively just triggers panic. Increasing income, even by a small, steady amount, creates a bigger and faster breakthrough in stability and, most importantly, in emotional bandwidth.
And we are focusing on building skills, not spending thousands on degrees or certifications. Skills create leverage.
Absolutely. Skills are actionable currency. If you feel overwhelmed and stuck, start small. Dedicate 10 minutes a day to learning a valuable, marketable skill for free online Excel formulas, basic coding, specific social media platform skills, editing, whatever. The goal is consistency over marathon learning sessions.
That consistency of 10 minutes a day provides the emotional benefit that you can grow. It shatters the broke identity that told you I'm not capable of learning valuable things.
It provides internal evidence of competence. And as you grow your skill, you increase your value, which eventually leads to a greater potential for income, which generates the true emotional safety you need.
We also need to interrupt the invisible leaks that sabotage those gains. What are the most insidious financial leak points?
The first and most frustrating are late fees and overdraft fees. These aren't intentional choices, they are a direct result of financial exhaustion and a lack of bandwidth. They cost people hundreds of dollars annually, erasing potential savings due to simple administrative fatigue.
And then there's a constant erosion of subscription creep.
Oh yeah, forgotten free trials, multiple streaming services, or recurring automatic payments that you don't even use anymore. We also see procrastination on maintenance, letting a small, cheap repair on a car, on a house appliance fester until it becomes a catastrophic, expensive problem. That's survival mode, neglecting a future consequence.
And the high cost of emotional self-medication, stress shopping, and reliance on fast food or delivery.
These aren't necessarily food or materialism problems, they are bandwidth problems. When you are emotionally drained, your cognitive resources are low, and you prioritize instant, expensive convenience over preparing a meal or waiting to think about a purchase.
This all loops back to the core. We can't build stability on self-hate. We have to heal the relationship between money and self-worth.
Self-worth is the invisible core. If you fundamentally believe you don't deserve calm, or success, or stability, you will unconsciously sabotage any efforts to get them. We absorb financial self-sabotage from childhood messages here, and we can't afford that constantly. We're seeing intense parental conflict over money. Those early messages become the internal identity voices whispering, "You are not worthy of keeping your money."
The truth is, most people are broke because of the stories life taught them to believe about themselves, leading to continuous self-sabotage.
We need to interrupt that old narrative with a new one that we repeat with compassion. You deserve stability. You deserve to keep your money. You deserve a life that feels peaceful.
And this requires addressing the emotional weight of trying again. When people have failed 10 times before, the fear of that 11th disappointment is just crippling.
We need to reframe those past failures. They didn't occur because of inherent weakness. They occurred because the previous habits lacked emotional safety and failed to address the nervous system's need for relief. This time is different because the approach is rooted in understanding, compassion, and gentleness.
Take a moment for that new identity to sink in. If you are listening, just close your eyes gently for a few seconds. We are going to visualize the future version of you 6 months from now.
Imagine that person. They are calmer, their shoulders are relaxed, they check their bank balance without fear. They possess that small $100 safety cushion. They are making better choices, not out of willpower, but out of a sense of peace.
Focus not on the money, but on the feeling of that peace and confidence. What is the feeling of that stable person?
That future self is standing right there, looking back at you, the current you. And their message is simple. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for choosing gentleness over punishment. That stable self is real, it's possible, and it's ready for you.
That vision provides the fuel. Let's structure the path forward with the full Stop Being Broke blueprint. The 7 layers designed specifically to create transformation for emotionally tired people.
This is a system built on incremental proof, not rapid sacrifice.
Layer 1, emotional safety.
This is non-negotiable. This means using breathing exercises, daily checks, and grounding moments to create the inner experience of safety. You are communicating to your primitive brain, I'm not in immediate danger anymore, I can relax. You cannot build a financial house if your internal foundation is shaking.
Layer 2.
Microsaving. Saving amounts so small, $1, $3, $5, that your emotional system cannot trigger panic or resistance. The goal is to rebuild saving confidence through small, consistent, undeniable wins. These tiny amounts are not for retirement, they are proof that the identity is changing.
Layer 3, invisible savings.
This leverages automation to bypass emotional resistance. Set up automatic transfers or digital roundup tools that move money into your stability fund without your conscious effort. If the money moves without you feeling the conscious loss of it, your nervous system won't fight it.
Layer 4, stabilized budgeting.
We're back to the zero shame app. This must be an honest, flexible budget built around how you actually live, including realistic amounts for pleasure, for self-care, and for potential impulse purchases. It's a tool for learning and adjusting, not a mechanism for punishment. Layer 5, income awareness. You must know where every dollar enters and leaves and when. Tracking spending rhythms and income patterns reduces massive anxiety. When you know, you can plan. When you plan, you feel calmer.
Layer 6, automated protection.
Automating bills and critical savings removes emotional friction. You prevent those costly late fees and overdrafts. Automation protects you from yourself on those overwhelmed, stressed out days.
And finally, layer 7, increase slowly.
Once those micro habits are stable and saving feels safe, you increase the amount saved or invested in tiny, measured steps. $5 more a month, $10 more in your savings target. Slow increases ensure long-term stability and prevent the emotional relapse that comes from sudden, massive restriction.
This systematic approach ensures that the crucial identity shift happens naturally, moving from I'm broke, which is a statement of permanence, to I'm becoming stable, which is a statement of forward motion and a path.
Identity changes through proof and repetition. Every time you save that $5, you prove, I am someone who can save. Every time you check the balance without panic, you prove, I am someone who faces money calmly. You are accumulating evidence of a new identity.
The moment you actually stop being broke isn't the day you get a raise or pay off the credit card.
So,
What is it?
it is the quiet, internal moment when you choose a new, stable pattern over the old, chaotic pattern. It's the decision to check the balance instead of avoiding it. It's saving that $5 even when you desperately feel you need it. That small choice breaks the old cycle and births the new, stable self.
Let's detail the 7 internal identity shifts that mark this deep transformation.
Shift 1. You move from paralyzing fear to gentle awareness. You stop running from the numbers and you start facing them with presence.
Shift 2. You shift from avoidance and dread to curiosity. Money becomes a neutral puzzle to solve, not an existential threat to escape.
Shift 3. From feeling total helplessness to realizing you have influence. You can't control the economy, but you can control your 10 minutes of learning or your $5 savings.
Shift 4. You stop engaging in emotional spending and develop deep emotional awareness. understanding the feeling that's driving the purchase.
Shift 5. From financial chaos and randomness to predictable rhythm. The weekly money moment calms the nervous system and creates peace.
Shift 6. You shift from scarcity, that feeling that there is never enough, to sufficiency, trusting yourself to manage what you currently have.
And shift 7, the ultimate goal. You move from a state of pure survival into a grounded, peaceful stability. This is the creation of a new, secure, emotional home.
To maintain this new stability, especially on hard days, we need consistent rituals to prevent slipping back into old patterns.
The first is the Sunday reset. 10 minutes, maybe while you're having coffee, to check bills, review the last week's spending patterns, and plan the next week's intentions. Clarity minimizes complexity.
Second, and this is for the body, the daily breath. Before opening any financial app or paying any bill, take one slow, deep breath to calm the body and prevent panic and stress from dictating the outcome.
And third, the critical one for emotional longevity, the monthly forgiveness. At the end of every cycle, release shame for any overspending or missed goals. Shame is an anchor. Forgiveness is a compass that keeps you moving forward, acknowledging that perfection is impossible, but consistency is available.
When the self-talk is toxic, we need a grounding technique, the stability anchor.
This is for overwhelming, chaotic days. It's a 5-second reset. Place one hand on your chest, take a deep breath, and repeat a mantra. I am safe. I am grounded. I am learning. I am becoming stable. This interrupts the panic response and reconnects you to the identity you are building.
As we conclude, we must acknowledge that lingering financial shame one last time. It's heavy because it lives in the body.
Take a final moment for internal forgiveness. Forgive yourself for decisions made when you were exhausted, for handling money poorly when you lacked the tools, and for surviving instead of planning. You are not your past financial mistakes. You are becoming someone new, built on safety and self-trust.
This entire transformation is built on 4 stability pillars, the final framework you need to remember.
Pillar 1. Awareness, the daily check, which stops chaos and avoidance. Pillar 2, consistency, the small, steady habits that provide proof of a new identity. Pillar 3, emotional regulation, the use of breathing and gentle moments to ensure decisions are made from calm, not panic. And Pillar 4, skill growth, creating breathing room and opportunities by increasing your value.
Those 4 pillars, built on a foundation of self-compassion, are the key to a lasting financial transformation.
And they are fully within your reach.
Let's close with that letter from your stable future self. Listen carefully to their voice, speaking with hard-won wisdom.
I made it. I'm okay now. I breathe easily, and money no longer owns my thoughts. I want to thank you. Thank you for the tiny steps you took, especially when they felt pointless or overwhelming. You didn't do everything perfectly, but you did enough. You chose gentleness over punishment, and that was all I needed. I'm proud of you. I'm here because of the courage you found today. I love who we've become.
You are not broken. You are becoming. Every tiny action you take today is a step toward that stable future self.
We encourage you to start with just one gentle habit today. You are not alone in this journey.
In our next deep dive, we'll take the next practical step and address how to build emergency funds when you're living paycheck to paycheck. We'll see you then.